It's Adam back again from the Army Painter. Today we're going to showcase how to use our brand new Masterclass dry brushes. These fantastic high quality premium dry brushes are great for all types of dry brushing techniques, but a dry brush isn't a dry brush unless it can dry brush feathers. All right, the paints that we're going to use in today's tutorial for these feathers are Alien Purple, Oozing Purple, Mummy Robes, and Purple Tone, but you can use the same applications for any color feathers that you'd like to paint. I started by priming the model with Color Primer Alien Purple. It's going to be a great starting point for the effect that I'm trying to achieve with these feathers. After we primed the model, I took a little bit of Oozing Purple, mixed it in with 1 part airbrush medium to 2 parts Oozing Purple. This step is completely unnecessary. I like to do this as it allows me to visualize the areas on the model that I would like to highlight with the dry brushing stage later on. So we're just taking this Oozing Purple thinned down with our airbrush medium. The airbrush medium makes it super simple to thin your war paints for the airbrush use. This 2-in-1 thinner and flow improver is really incredible and makes thinning your war paints for airbrushing super simple. Before we move on to the dry brushing stage, we are going to add a wash. And this we're using Quick Shade Purple Tone, and we're going to apply this evenly across all of the feathers. This is the first step in making the definition on those feathers pop. We're taking this right out of the pot. We're not thinning this down at all, and we're applying this with a larger brush. I am using a regiment brush, and I'm just applying this evenly across all of the feathers. I'm allowing the wash to work its way into the recesses and the creases of the model so that those details begin to pop. If it does begin to pull a little bit too much, just wick it away with your brush and make sure that that wash is evenly dispersed across all of the details on the feathers of your model. We're going to finish applying this across the rest of the model and give it about 15 to 20 minutes to dry before moving on to the next step. We are going to be using our brand new Masterclass dry brushes for this tutorial. These dome-shaped goat-haired bristle brushes are fantastic for pulling off any dry brushing, stippling, or even push blending techniques. I really enjoy the shape and feel of the bristles on this Masterclass dry brush. We're going to apply our Oozing Purple evenly throughout all of the bristles of the model, ensuring not to get any of the paint into the ferrule. That's the metal bit on the dry brush. And then we're just going to go right to the model in a downward flicking motion. We're very lightly going to flick some of that Oozing Purple paint across the raised areas of the model, ensuring that we don't get any of this paint into the recesses that we previously shaved with our Purple Tone Quick Shade wash. You want to go across all of the model, make sure that you pick out all of the feathers very gently with this Oozing Purple highlight. This is the first highlight that we're going to do with this Masterclass dry brush range before moving on to a couple more highlights with lighter shades in the following steps. So make sure that you get good even coverage, take your time here. Next, while we still have a little bit of the Oozing Purple still on the dry brush, we don't want to rinse it, we don't want to get it wet at this stage, even though these goat hair bristles do dry very quickly. We're just going to take some of the Oozing Purple remaining on the bristles of the brush and mix it in with some Mummy Robes. And this is going to be our second highlight. And this is going to produce a nice subtle gradient. And you can see here, I'm just tracing this, focusing it more on the uppermost raised areas of the models, like the center of the back and the ends of the wings and tops of the wings here. So go ahead and check out all of the angles on the model. Make sure that you're picking out the most extreme details with this lighter mixture of Oozing Purple and Mummy Robes. Closer to the body and the under and inner parts of the model. And the final step in this tutorial is an application of pure Mummy Robes. And we're just going to gently and ever so slightly flick this Mummy Robes, this very rosy, almost pinkish white color across the very and most extreme tips and edges. And you can see here that the Masterclass dry brush gives us superior control when we're applying this dry brush highlight. Again, we're focusing in on the most raised and most extreme edges on the feathers of this model, just allowing the very little bit of paint that exists on those bristles to do all of the hard work for us. Now you could go on after this and you could pick out even more details with a standard small brush like our character detail or insane detail brush, but our Masterclass dry brushes are so good and so effective that you don't even need to go on to that detail step. They are so well suited at picking out the texture and details of your model. You can pull off the same effects in any color you want. If you want to do standard brown or grayish black feathers, you just want to start with a good solid darker base tone and work your way up with a mid-tone and then a more extreme highlight tone. And with this final highlight applied, I think we're about done with the feathers. Here's the finished model. I went ahead and painted the rest of the model off camera just to finish it off for y'all here. I think I'm going to use this for my Saga Age of Magic Lords of the Wild army. And these dry brushes allowed me to achieve really great results in a really short amount of time. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial as much as I enjoyed painting up this model for you today. Remember that painting up feathers and any high texture models is really simple and easy when using the Masterclass dry brush range. Remember, the magic in miniature painting is that it can be as simple or as challenging as you'd like it to be, but with the right techniques, you're sure to achieve some great results. We'll see you next time.